Welcome to another Mind and Soul peace practice. I'm filming this in the lovely North Yorkshire at Scargill House, and I'm going to be looking at one of Jesus' most beautiful peace practices. Now, I think we are living in a culture that shames people. I think talking to a number of people that over lockdown, a lot of people have experienced a lot more criticism. They've been shamed more often. Shame as an experience or a feeling or an emotion, or the experience of being shamed, is one of the most difficult for us to just experience. And like damp, it can stay with us even when the experience of being shamed has long gone. And one of the interesting things that research about shame shows us is that it can affect our physical posture. We can actually slump, our shoulders can go forward, we can hide our face in our hands. When people talk to us, we can look away, we can bite our lip, and a lot of this we do without even being aware that shame has impacted our physical posture. And often it's something that happened to us as a child. It can be at school that we were shamed. Maybe the whole class, including you, was punished for something that you didn't do. Publicly exposed. I know I experienced that as a child. And that can leave us with a constant feeling of anxiety that we can't quite put our finger on as to why we're feeling like that. One of my favourite passages in Luke is in chapter 13 and verses 10 to 17. The woman who was straightened by Jesus, the woman bent over by arthritis probably, and also by shame. Part of her posture was probably through being shamed publicly. And here we see in action one of Jesus' most beautiful peace practices. The reversal of shaming, unshaming, if you like. Let's read the passage together. On a Sabbath, Jesus was teaching in one of the synagogues, and a woman was there who had been crippled by a spirit for 18 years. She was bent over and could not straighten up at all. When Jesus saw her, he called her forward and said to her, "Woman, you are set free from your infirmity." Then he put his hands on her, and immediately she straightened up and praised God. Indignant because Jesus had healed on the Sabbath, the synagogue leader said to the people, "There are 6 days for work, so come and be healed on those days, not on the Sabbath." The Lord answered him, "You hypocrites! Doesn't each of you on the Sabbath untie your ox or donkey from the stall and lead it out to give it water? Then should not this woman, a daughter of Abraham, whom Satan has kept bound for 18 long years, be set free on the Sabbath day from what bound her?" When he said this, all his opponents were ashamed, but the people were delighted with all the wonderful things he was doing. And very often when we feel ashamed or shamed, not only do we look away from people, but we are feeling that people can't look at us because there's something wrong with us. And I love here that the first thing that Jesus does is see the woman who needed to be straightened, the woman that nobody else saw anymore. And there are a number of beautiful parallels in this passage, often lost in the English translation. It says, "and was not able to straighten up completely." And of course, it then, when Jesus heals her, and at once she was straightened and praised God. And the synagogue ruler says 6 days exist on which work ought to be done. And Jesus replies, "And this woman, ought not she be loosed, just as you loosen your ox or donkey?" So we have these beautiful parallels. And what I want to focus on, and this is an insight I picked up from practical theologian Stephen Patterson, is in verse 13. It says, "Then Jesus put his hands on the bent-over woman and straightened her." This is not just a reversal of physical infirmity, but a reversal of the shame she would have experienced, which the synagogue leader tries to bind her with again, that would have affected her posture so that she was bent over and unable to look at people in the eye. We sometimes talk about being bound with shame. Well, here Jesus unbinds her shame and straightens her up. And by calling her daughter of Abraham, just as he calls Zacchaeus, son of Abraham, Jesus restores the woman's honor and dignity. So let's now allow Jesus to reverse our shame, our experience of being shamed. Let's imagine that we're there with Jesus. Let's close our eyes. Let's, as Ignatius teaches us, put ourselves right there. Maybe quiet as Jesus heals, people watching. Maybe it's hot there. Maybe there are interesting smells wafting in from the market. Notice your posture. Are you bent over because of shame or because you have been shamed? Just adopt that posture. Put your face in your hands. Just look away. Just bite your lip. Just try and realize if that's your experience. And now just allow Jesus to be there in the room with you, to straighten you up, to lay hands on you, to reverse your shaming. Maybe if you're sitting down, get up and stand up straight, feet on the ground, shoulders back, head up, just your chin lifted by the hands of Jesus. Don't avert your gaze from Jesus. Let him look in your eyes and say to you, daughter of Abraham, son of Abraham. This is a term of honor and respect. Just notice your breathing. And as you breathe in God's love. And as you breathe out, just breathe out that experience of shame. Where do you feel the shame? Maybe it's like a dread in here. So breathe into that place. Breathe in God's love. Breathe out your dread. Maybe it's anxiety. You worry that you'll be exposed and shamed again. Wherever you feel that, breathe into that place. And breathe out. Breathe out that shame, that anxiety. And what about people you know? Do you know someone? You know a leader, you know a friend, you know a member of your family who's been shamed, publicly humiliated, criticized unfairly. Perhaps you can talk to them about this passage. Perhaps you can help them with this meditation. Send it to them. Invite them to allow Jesus to reverse their shaming, their experience of being shamed. And maybe you can pray for them after you've watched the rest of this meditation. And I'm going to now pray a blessing over you, a circle prayer, a prayer from Celtic roots. May you be circled right now with God's love. May honor and dignity be in the circle, and shame and dishonor out. Right now, may you know the reversal of shame. And in the future, if someone shames you, invite Jesus in. Allow him to straighten you up. Allow him to get you to look at people in the eye again and not hide your gaze. And may the love of Jesus enfold you, spring up within you, flow through you, and circle you today. May you know the reversal of shame through the love of Jesus. We ask this in his precious name. So thank you for listening. Do keep a lookout for more peace practices via the Mind and Soul Foundation YouTube, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. Take care and God bless.